Hey guys, Nick from Arch City Poker and ArchCityPLO.com. In today's vlog, we're going to talk about betting for information and why you shouldn't really bet to see where you're at. So there's a lot of players, including probably a fair amount of you that are watching this, that you you do actually implement some kind of strategy where you bet to, quote, see where you're at, unquote. So this could happen with a lot of like marginal top pair hands, maybe like middle pair. Maybe there's a pocket pair that you have in between the top pair and the middle pair on the board. The point is, it's a hand that you don't want to check and face maybe a large bet yourself with. You'd like to bet. A lot of opponents in the live low stakes games, they'll play pretty straightforward, pretty passively against um, essentially aggression that they aren't expecting. So like, yeah, unexpected aggression, I guess. And that strategy for a lot of you guys, that might end up working okay, but the problem is that it's really inefficient. There are pretty much like three reasons that you ever want to bet. You're betting for value. You want to get worse hands to call. You are betting or you're bluffing essentially. You're trying to obviously get better hands to fold or get equity to fold out. And then sometimes this gets a little more complicated, but you will be betting for mainly protection. That's a range versus range concept a lot of times, but that's overly complicated for the games that you guys are playing in. Pretty much just stick to, for the most part, especially if you're pretty novice, or if you are, just a live low stakes player who is just looking to improve, and you're not really sure why you're betting in some spots or when you should bet. Bet if you think you can get obviously worse hands to call. Bluff if you think you can get better hands to fold. But don't bet to see where you're at, because what's going to end up happening is that a lot of times you're going to fold out a lot of the worse hands that might try to bluff, that might call you later when they check back and you decide to stab on the turn yourself. A lot of times you'll only get action from better. And if you do happen to run into a better player and they pick up on this, they know that they have the range advantage, they're going to raise you a lot in the spot. When I get led into and I feel like it's a pretty transparent bet from like a range that doesn't really hit the texture that hard, and I'm the pre-flop raiser, a lot of times when these guys lead into me, I am auto raising them pretty much with most everything in my range, just because I do have the range advantage. I know that they're often planning to bet fold, essentially planning to bet to see where they're at. You really want to avoid this and get that kind of thought process out of your head. We don't want to bet for information. We don't want to bet to see where we're at. We want to have a clear purpose for why we're betting. We want to bet for value, or we want to be bluffing. As you progress in your game and you perhaps move up in stakes, or you start to understand the game on at like a deeper theoretical level, essentially, then that's when you can start adding in like some protection bets. You're betting mostly for like equity denial, but for the most part, bet for value or bluff, and don't be betting to see where you're at. So if you guys have any questions or comments, of course, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.